Welcome to the Cinematic Stupidity Podcast. I'm your host, Hussein Mohammed. On our very first episode, we're going to do a review of the new film Borat, subsequent movie film, delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. The movie stars Sacha Baron Cohen as Borat and Maria Bakalova as Tutar. In the opening credits, I noticed the age restriction logo. This film is not suitable for children under the age of 3. The movie opens up with Borat working in what appears to be some kind of prison camp in Kazakhstan. Borat explains he was once very successful with his first film, but times have changed, and now he is hated and shunned and sent to work. The world is a very different place since the first movie. Donald Trump is now president of the United States. It shows Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in blackface. They show Donald Trump's friends, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Jair Bolsonaro, and Kenneth West, aka Kanye West. Borat is asked to go to America to complete a mission because of an anti-American Obama. The mission is to give a gift from Kazakhstan to Vice President Mike Pence because Donald Trump might still be angry at Borat for shitting outside of Trump Tower in New York City in 2006. You recall? He shits outside of Trump Tower, and that's why this gift is going to Vice President Mike Pence. Very nice, my wife. They start talking about how Vice President Mike Pence is a ladies' man. He's chosen to receive the gift. The gift, of course, is ridiculous. The gift is Johnny the Monkey. The monkey is also Kazakhstan's Minister of Culture and #1 porn star. Faced with the realization that his neighbor stole everything in his home, including his sons, but with the exception of his daughter, he is forced to leave his daughter behind, along with his sons and his home and everything he knows in Kazakhstan to go to America to complete his quest. Borat arrives in America and goes to a cell phone store. He needs to purchase a new phone and learns to use FaceTime. The man working in the cell phone shop mirrors the phone screen to a television in the store. He starts to explain how to use the features of his phone. Borat starts looking for a recipe for spit roast cream pie and goes on Pornhub. After learning he can get pornography on his phone anytime, he takes the phone to the bathroom and starts watching black women fuck on Pornhub. Borat then learns that Johnny the Monkey is dead, but somehow his daughter Tutar has arrived in one piece instead. Borat then goes to a print and fax store, something that I was surprised was still around today. Borat sends a fax to Kazakhstan telling them that Johnny the Monkey, aka Kazakhstan's Minister of Culture and #1 porn star, is dead. He asks if he can give his daughter Tutar to Vice President Mike Pence instead. He receives a fax replying, "Perfect." Borat takes Tutar to a father-daughter dance. The dance is filled with a bunch of young girls and their fathers. Of course, it's a father-daughter dance. It's very classy and elegant, and when it's their turn for a special dance in front of everyone, Borat and Tutar take the stage and begin dancing to Kazakh music. It starts off normal, and the audience is enjoying their performance and begins enthusiastically clapping along in rhythm to the tune Borat and Tutar are dancing to. Then their dance progressively gets more shocking. Tutar's hairy armpits are ignored at the onset, but when she pulls the front of her dress up and shows everyone her blood-soaked panties, people are grossed out and start to freak out and run out. Borat and Tutar find out that Vice President Mike Pence, aka Vice Pussy Grabber Mike Pence, will be at CPAC and decide to go. Borat wants to blend in and not stick out like a sore thumb, so he decides to wear a full clan robe. Borat is seen walking through the lobby of the convention center, and only a handful of people are seen visibly appalled, while most people in the lobby are unconcerned. Borat goes into the bathroom and changes out of the clan robe into a Donald Trump costume. He runs into the convention while Pence is speaking and interrupts and starts to shout, "I have a gift for you." Borat is immediately escorted out of the convention center by police and security guards as Mike Pence is on stage shaking his head. The Vice Pussy Grabber has officially rejected the gift from Borat's homeland. Previously on Homeland, Borat is back at the print and fax store. He receives a fax telling him to return. The fax reads, quote, "Return immediately to die in excruciating pain. You will be tied to 2 cows who will face Uzbeks and with turnips inserted into their assholes. Uzbeks will be enticed away with money and cows will follow to eat turnips, ripping you apart." End quote. Borat sends a fax asking if he can give his daughter Tutar to other people close to Donald Trump. Borat explains to his daughter that all of President Trump's associates are all in prison, except for one, Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal attorney. Borat receives a fax that reads, "If you can deliver her to Rudy, you will live." Borat high-fives and kisses the man working at the print fax store. Borat leaves with his daughter in the care of a black woman named Janice Jones. Tudor gives Janice her book, who begins reading it. It's about a girl with an angry pussy. The pictures in the book have teeth coming out of her pussy or her vagine. Janice tells her that the book is wrong. She confesses that she does masturbate and that she has never had fingers bitten off. She tells her that women can do anything and can even drive. Tudor says, no, you can't drive, you're a woman. She tells her that women can drive and that in fact she does drive herself. It cuts to them in Janice's car. Tudor tells her that she's getting plastic surgery done on the request of her father to make Rudy Giuliani happy. Janice advises Tudor to not get surgery, telling her that she's beautiful and that she shouldn't get surgery just to please a man. Tudor gets dropped off by Janice and then sees a woman going into a building. Tudor follows the woman inside and finds herself at a conservative Republican women meeting. Tudor asks the woman if it's true women can drive and that men lie. They all tell her yes, and they seem amused by her questions. Then Tudor goes into the bathroom and decides to masturbate. She has an orgasm in the bathroom stall and then leaves the bathroom and goes back out to the meeting and heads right on stage and takes over the microphone. Tudor says to the woman in attendance that she was excited to learn that her fingers didn't get cut. She then yells out to pull down your panties, let's run away from our daddies. Tudor and Borat meet up and Tudor tells him that she's not getting plastic surgery. Borat is visibly upset. Tudor explains that the book is lies and that she masturbated and nothing happened. Borat is shocked of that revelation and asks, how did you survive? Out of your asshole? Tudor tells him that everything in the book is a lie and that she found a book of truth. It's Facebook. She said she learned so many new facts on Facebook, like that the Holocaust never happened. Tudor angrily exclaims that woman can be anyone. She gets into a car and drives off. Borat, feeling completely dejected, desperate, and sad, decides to commit suicide by going to a synagogue and waiting for a mass shooter dressed as a stereotypical Jew. The outfit Borat is wearing is so shocking and yet so funny. He has a very long prosthetic nose, long claw-like fingers, a bag with a dollar sign on it, and puppet strings. He walks into the temple and is immediately afraid of two women. They claim his fears of anti-Semitism is unfounded. They tell him that the Holocaust was real and that they lost family during the war. We now cut to Borat walking outside on a deserted street. Borat sees a man who tells him that people are staying home because of the coronavirus. Borat asks if he can stay at the man's house and he agrees. At the man's home, they talk about their hatred for Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. One of the men claim that the Democrats are more dangerous than the virus. While living in quarantine with two southern strangers, Borat and his new friends sing anti-Obama songs. They find a website that is promoting a Fight for Your Rights rally and learn that Tudor will be there as a journalist covering the event. The racist rally is filled with people carrying Confederate flags and assault rifles. Borat is wearing a completely new costume as he walks on stage as Country Steve. Borat, now under the moniker of Country Steve, begins singing the anti-Obama song he was working on with his roommates. The two men find Tudor and approach her, telling her that Borat will die if she does not go to Washington, D.C. Tudor agrees to be gifted to Rudy Giuliani, but refuses to speak to Borat. Tudor then calls to set up an interview with Rudy Giuliani, who agrees. Borat then goes back to Janice's home to get the ball and chain he left Tudor with when he dropped her off. While there, she tells him that he should not give Tudor away, but instead take care of her. She hands him a handmade toy Tudor made of him. Borat gets emotional and realizes the mistake he has made. She tells him to go get her back before he takes her. Before leaving, Borat asks if you could be my new black wife. Janice replies, no, I cannot be your new black wife. Tudor is now at the hotel in New York City and puts balloons in the front of her dress to make her boobs look bigger. Giuliani arrives for the interview at the hotel and Tudor charms him, and Rudy is immediately fixated with her. Borat, now disguised as an audio engineer holding a boom mic, interrupts the interview declaring a sound problem. Visibly upset, Tudor checks the sound for herself and kicks Borat out, sending him to the lobby. After the interview, they take drinks into the bedroom and Rudy gets freaky. Rudy sits on the bed and touches Tudor's lower back. Then he lays flat on his back and puts his hand down his pants to his crotch area and starts moving his hands around. Borat storms into the bedroom and tells Rudy she's 15, she's too old for you, take me instead. Giuliani replies quote, "I don't want you," end quote. Borat is wearing panties and sexy lingerie, and this is the big crescendo of the film. Rudy leaves, but not before getting his security guard to call police on Borat and Tudor. Meanwhile, Borat and Tudor run outside down the street while Borat is still wearing his lingerie. Borat tells Tudor that he is going back to Kazakhstan and that she should stay behind in America. Tudor refuses to stay back alone, and she insists that she will go back with him. Borat and Tudor arrive in the Kazakh minister's office. Borat signs a will and leaves everything to his daughter, 1 anti-Semitic cake and 3 fleshlights. He is told that he won't be killed after all. Borat says, "But I failed my mission." The man says, "It's okay, people make mistakes." Tudor notices something on the wall and tells Borat to look at it. The poster reads, "How to get revenge on world for movie." Tudor now points to another wall that reads, "Create virus, patient 0, bats, spread it all around the world." Borat starts to put the pieces together, and we have a flashback. We see a cameo of Tom Hanks with Borat coughing on him, and flashback. Borat runs out of the office to confront the minister, saying, "You used me to spread the virus around the world." He replies, "We did, it worked. We got revenge on the world for laughing at us." Borat then pulls out a phone, and he's got FaceTime on with the man from the cell phone store. Borat says, "Did you hear that?" He then tells him that if anything should happen to him, send the video to his 2 best boyfriends, Jim and Jerry, the 2 men he was living with in quarantine. The man says, what is a magic calculator he's holding? He says that it is a cell phone, and also America's Minister of Technology. The man says, "What do you want?" We then fast forward to 3 months later, and Kazakhstan is now a feminist country like USA and Saudi Arabia. Also, bride exports have now been deemed misogynist, but they now offer traffic grooms. Out comes a giant crate filled with little boys being sent to Kevin Spacey's home. Borat steals Wi-Fi passwords and joins the global community. We see a factory filled with Kazakh women typing on computers, creating fake troll accounts to support McDonald Trump and influence elections. Borat realizes the biggest threat to his country isn't Jews, but it's the Yankee Americans. We now cut to Borat and Tudor doing live play-by-play of the running of the American. First, you see a giant MAGA hat mascot, then a Karen mascot in an All Lives Matter t-shirt holding an AR-15 from Walmart and coughing. Karen sneezes really hard and then pukes all over everyone. Then, a Dr. Fauci mascot is running, carrying the vaccine, only to be shot by Karen using her AR-15 that she bought from Walmart. Borat then says the Americans are successful in their battle against science. Borat and Tudor sign off Kazakhstan TV. Chinkui. Wawawiwa. This was a really fun movie to watch. It was one of the best movies I've seen so far in 2020, and one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. Again, you can catch this movie on Amazon Prime, starring Sacha Baron Cohen and Maria Bakalova. Thank you for listening to the Cinematic Stupidity Podcast. Until next time, peace.
I need to make a contact with my premier, Nazarbayev. I must inform him of some news.
Okay, what do you want to say?
SUP. S-U-P.
That it? Mm. Okay. He sent you back, he said S-U-P with a question mark after it. Sup?
Ah, can you answer him? Chillin'.